Hello. I am back to give an update. There's not a lot going on because my attorney has not responded to me except to send me a bill. And apparently will do no further work on my case if I don't pay up. My stance is if you do the work you were supposed to have done in the last month and more, I'd be happy to pay up. So now I'm in a quandary. And a deposition for my ex-husband was to be held on Thursday morning, and on Wednesday evening I received a telephone message from my attorney that the deposition was canceled. This upset us both greatly because my attorney was relying on the other attorney's calls for deposition in order to do his questioning, instead of calling his own depositions, which you should always do because other attorneys can drop or cancel their depositions without a reason. So now, since we haven't called my ex for a deposition, which is an intensive questioning prior to trial, we have to file a motion to reopen discovery. We have to file a motion to be allowed to ask for a deposition. I doubt the judge will grant that. The trial is set for January 3rd. We have what's called a settlement conference on December 19th. A settlement conference is where each party puts on the table an offer to settle without going to trial. We don't have an offer. We haven't prepared an offer. We haven't discussed preparing an offer. And I have received or seen nothing from my ex's attorney. Whether she provided that is beyond me because my attorney continues to not CC me on absolutely all correspondence. So a deposition is very important because you answer questions that you may answer differently when you're testifying at the trial, and that would be considered perjury and then would make you an unviable or unreliable witness for yourself. Problem is, I had two partial depositions over a year ago, both scheduled purposefully after immediate emergency ex partes by my ex's attorney. She has this habit of setting up depositions and then filing a 24-hour in advance emergency hearing on the same day of the deposition. I'm already in a vulnerable place because I suffer severe post-traumatic stress symptoms whenever anything occurs in the court or relating to my case. At this point, I have high blood pressure, I get heart palpitations, a weird feeling down my spine, just anxiety attack, basically. My attorney doesn't seem to acknowledge this or understand this, and neither does my ex's attorney, but that doesn't make it not true and not there and not recognized under the ADA as a viable and true disorder. PTSD from legal symptoms is called legal abuse syndrome, LAS. So when I have a deposition, or even a deposition of one of my personal witnesses, I'm nervous. I'm a wreck. I can't think straight. I shake. I can't focus. So here this ex parte was called last week, the morning of the deposition, which I said in my original posting. Well, now we have to ask for an ex parte, which the judge already has said he doesn't like ex partes. Emergencies clogging up his morning calendar are not fun. But we need to ask for opening of discovery. My attorney has not done any of the discovery that I know of, but I have asked for. We did receive a box of discovery, that's information basically, from my ex through his attorney, which was inconclusive. And 3 months ago, August 15th, I told my attorney what else we needed. Very important papers about automatic temporary restraining order violations that I allege my ex engaged in. Selling and buying property, selling stocks, things that you're not supposed to do when you're in a separation. You have to, everything's supposed to be frozen. He didn't understand that apparently, so he did some shady deals. Some deals that I made money from, but he did them without my permission, which is a violation. Sanctionable under Code 271, California Family Code 271. So the deal is, right now I'm on pins and needles waiting for my ex to possibly provide the discovery I asked for in time by November 19th. My attorney finally sent a request for this on October 25th, so it wasn't enough time. If he was provided with what we asked for, it's another malpractice on his part. It's just incomprehensible how many of these attorneys get away with basic incompetence and not fulfilling the contract with which they made with their clients. And that is to provide the information necessary for the client to move forward. I provided everything asked of me so far that I know of. Oh, so once again, I really consider court a painful and last resort place to go. My husband took me there. We told each other we didn't want to go to court. We went through 2 years of mediation, and then he rescinded that agreement. I do not ever want to go to court. It's a horrible place to be, especially in Santa Barbara County, which can be Googled. A lot of corruption all over the United States in the courts. The judges have absolutely no accountability to anyone. And in family law, they have a broad array of discretion. The spectrum is so broad, they can do whatever they want just because it's a gray area. It's their discretion. And then you have to go through absolute hoops to even file a motion or to accuse a judge of abuse of that discretion. And judges protect each other at all levels. And so their number is very small. The most important thing in all of this is that there's nowhere to turn. In the state of California, we have 80 or 88 representatives for 38 million people. That's what has to change. The grassroots movement led by Michael Warnken is trying to get representation equalized according to the people, not geography. In places like Massachusetts and New Hampshire, where there's a smaller population in a much smaller geographical area, judges get impeached. They get thrown off the bench for slight violations. But in California, there's too many people unrepresented. So we have taxation without representation going on right now in the United States of America, especially in the state of California. And it has to change. But when someone's in the middle of a lawsuit, the last thing you want to do is become a lobbyist. You don't have time, energy, or emotion. So I encourage anyone to link on to Michael Warnken on YouTube, Michael Warnken, Michael Warnken. And he can also be seen on several of the videos by Bill Wagner. You can YouTube check Bill or William Wagner, Waggener, William Wagner. He did a few on me. I'm on a couple of his videos with him. First one over a year and a half ago when the dead judge screwed me over. It's called Barbara Gets Screwed by a Dead Judge. It's my story. But it's been a continuing legacy, judge after judge, not imparting justice or equalization according to family law. People say, how can this keep going on like this? It's supposed to be 50-50. It is. But I think it is a crime that a divorce can last over 2 years. Mine is going on 4.5. And I think it's a crime that there's no cap on how much an attorney can charge for a divorce. Yes, there are levels of complications in different divorces, especially when money, assets, and children are involved. But if you can't settle it in 2 years, I think it should go to an arbitrating board, paid for by our taxes, and done. That's it. And that's something I want to change. Family law has to be renovated big time. So does my little apartment. So I'm going to tune off and try to put some little Christmas decorations in my cottage. It's a tough time of year because my home was always the centerpiece of Montecito with lights and trees and moving things and blowing up things on the roof and people in and out and hot toddy and some cider and yummy foods that I made. So I'm missing that so much. I miss my home. And my children miss my home, especially my oldest son. So sorry for getting all teary, but it's that time of year. So happy holidays to you, and thank you so much for listening. And please make comments or post or send prayers my way, and I'm send prayers yours, especially those of you who are suffering in the legal system at the hands of vicious and greedy attorneys. Thank you.